Hi, I'm Ms. Huffman.
And I'm Miss B.
Welcome to Two Teachers, a place where we can read
And learn
together. Today, we will be talking about syllables. Now, can you remind us, what is a syllable?
So syllables are parts of a word. Now we can count syllables in many different ways, but I'm going to talk to you about 3 of them. One of them is by talking it out. You can place your hand underneath your chin, and every time you feel your chin brush against your hand, that is 1 syllable. Another way that you can count syllables is by clapping it out, which is my personal favorite. And that's where you just clap it out. And the third way to count syllables is by tapping it out. You can do that by using your pointer finger and just simply tapping just that finger. Or you can actually use all of your fingers, depending on how many syllables there are. And you can tap and change your finger each time you're counting a syllable.
Great! Well, how about we practice with the word syllable? Can you show us how?
Yes. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate by putting my hand underneath my chin. You can choose whichever way you feel more comfortable. Reminder, it's either talking it out, clapping it out, or tapping it out. All right, here we go. Syllable. 3 syllables in the word syllable. Great job.
Wow, pretty cool that you can count the syllables in the word syllable. But hey, every word has parts, so every word does have syllables. Neat. Well, thanks. Now let's use what we just learned about syllables to help us read this book, Fancy Nancy, T for 2, based on the creation of Jane O'Connor and Robin Preiss Glasser. Fancy Nancy, T for 2. Ooh la la! There's a message from my best friend Bree in our special mail basket. It says, "Come quick, I have something to show you." Come quick, I have something to show you. Heart, Bree. The mail basket is set up on a rope that runs between our houses. This way, we can always stay in touch. I write back a message. It says, "I will be there in a jiffy." Jiffy? That's fancy for right away. Okay, jiffy might be a new word for us. Should we look at the syllables in jiffy?
Yeah, let's count the syllables.
Jiffy. 2. Remember, that's fancy for right away. I write back a message. It says, "I will be there in a jiffy." That's fancy for right away. Off it goes in the basket. Then I wake my doll, Maribel, from her nap and head next door. As soon as I arrive, Bree says, "Close your eyes and count to 3. 1, 2, 3. I love counting in French. Oh, hey, she just counted in French. 1, 2, 3. Do you know of any other ways to count?
I can count to 3 in Spanish.
Oh, let's hear it.
1, 2, 3.
And what if we were to count to 3 in English? Want to try with us? Ready? 1, 2, 3. When I open my eyes, Bree is holding a tray with a fancy tea set on it. There's a teapot, a sugar bowl, a creamer, and 2 cups with saucers. Oh, how elegant, I say. Elegant might be one of those new words. Elegant means fancy, dainty, kind of special. How would you break down elegant into its parts or its syllables?
Elegant.
3 parts. My aunt gave it to me, Bree explains. She and my mom used to play tea party with it. This tea set is extra special, Bree says. It's real china, not plastic. That's why there are a few little chips. Chips?
Like Doritos?
I'm looking at the illustration and I don't see any potato chips, do you?
Mm-mm.
Do you? So that doesn't make sense when I read it then. Let me make sure I read it correctly. That's why there are a few little chips. So what could she mean by saying little chips?
Oh, I think she's talking about the material that the tea set is made out of. That is real china. It's not plastic. And so it has some wear and tear, and that's what she means by little chips.
Oh, the sentence before just told us it's real china, not plastic. You're right. So that material, sometimes with wear and tear, little bits of it break. So it creates chips or missing pieces. That makes way more sense. Thanks. We decide to have a tea party right away. A doll tea party. Isn't it lucky I brought Maribel with me? We put out placemats, set the table, stick some flowers in a vase, and voila, it's party time. Bree wants her doll, Chiffon, to be hostess first. That's fair. The tea set is Bree's after all. Darling, would you care for some tea? Chiffon asks. Oui, yes please, Maribel answers. Maribel has absolutely exquisite manners. Okay, exquisite. That might be another new word. It says, that means her manners are just about perfect. Let's make sure we can say that new word correctly. How do we count out the syllables for exquisite?
Exquisite. 3.
Exquisite. That means manners are just about perfect. The dolls sip their tea in a very dainty, fancy way. When they are done, I say, now it's Maribel's turn to pour. I start to reach for the teapot. No, says Bree. She pushes my hand away. Chiffon is still the hostess. That is not fair. Maribel deserves a turn, I say. I reach to take the teapot from Bree. Then something horrible happens. Horrible. Really bad. Let's make sure we can use that word correctly. Can you help us with the parts for horrible?
Horrible.
3 parts. Big word. Then something horrible happens. The teapot goes flying. And when it lands, its lid breaks into 2 pieces. My tea set is wrecked, Bree shouts. It was an accident, I say. And anyway, the teapot already had a chip in it. Bree flops on her bed and covers her face. Go home. I don't want to play. Fine, I'm leaving, and I'm not coming back. Au revoir. Then Maribel and I storm out of Bree's house and back to mine. At home, I keep looking outside my window to see if Bree sent a message saying she's sorry for how mean she was. But the mail basket is empty. During dinner, my mom asks if something is wrong. So I tell everyone what happened. My dad says, even though it was an accident, I want to make sure we know what that word accident means, right? Let's count out the syllables just to make sure we're saying it correctly. Will you help?
Yes. Accident.
3 syllables. Accident. I didn't do it on purpose. Even though it was an accident, it was your fault the teapot broke. My mom says, did you say you were sorry? Well, not exactly, I say. That's what you need to do, Mom says. My parents are right. But what if Bree stays mad at me forever? The next morning, I go over to Bree's house to apologize. Apologize, that's another big word. Let's make sure we're saying it right. Will you help us with the parts?
Yes. Apologize.
Wow, that word had 4 parts or 4 syllables. That's a pretty big word. Do you think we could say it together?
Apologize.
Which is the fancy word for saying sorry. But when she answers the door, all I do is burst into tears. Bree starts crying then too. I'm sorry I hogged the tea set. And I'm so sorry I broke the teapot. I never should have grabbed it. I was scared we weren't going to be best friends anymore, I tell Bree. Me too, Bree says. Then we embrace. Ooh, embrace, that's another good word. Help us with the parts, please.
Embrace.
2 parts, which is fancy for hug. And guess what? The teapot is already repaired, which means it's fixed and fine again. Repaired, that's another great word we could use. How many parts are in that word?
Repaired.
Repaired, which means it's fixed and fine again. Just like our friendship. I think we can learn a lot from Fancy Nancy and Bree in this situation, right? Sometimes when there's an accident, fancy word to say you made a mistake, we should apologize. A fancy word for saying we're sorry. Well, thanks for helping us sound out the syllables and count the syllables in these words to make sure we're using them right. Because when we can break words down into their syllables or their parts, it makes it easier to say them, to read them, and write them. Well, thanks for reading along with us and for helping us count. Until next time, bye!